Hey everyone, this is Jason from Grand Slam with another Secret War Journal, week number 19. Really quick week this week. There was only 7 books. For one reason or another, it's a pretty small week in comics in general. So there was only 7 books for the Battleworld, and a lot of them are finishing up. So let's just get right into it. Inhumans Rising. This one is a concluding issue. In this, we start to see well, if we don't start to see anything, we're finally seeing that there's a conclusion to the story with the whole Medusa, and she's helped Black Bolt get away from the whole she realized what was going on and helped Black Bolt to escape, and so now the movement is starting to work together. So you have all the Inhumans kind of working together, all the rogue people, and things are beginning to change a little bit. And in the middle of this, there is a big struggle and a fight. And the really cool part of this, it has a really kind of stunning conclusion where the guy who's Black Bolt gets hurt. It is Black Bolt, but he's not like Black Bolt that we know Black Bolt as. So she takes him into the middle of New Adelan, where they keep the Terrigenesis. And the concluding part of this book is really cool. She basically takes Black Bolt there, and then he gets Terrigenesis because he gets hurt, he's wounded, it can heal him, and it also unleashes his inhuman power, which, of course, we all know Black Bolt's power is to be able to say stuff, and it's like, boom, it's like really powerful, noisy death stuff. However, it kind of backfires in a way that I don't want to completely spoil, but let's just say it kind of reminds me of something like The Matrix, where there's like a cycle that continues to happen over and over. So in the end, there is no victory over Doom, and that's been the theme of all these. Like, Doom is unbeatable. Like, it doesn't matter all these people's plots and everything that they do, they can't do anything to get over on Doctor Doom. So that's kind of what the theme of all the Battleworld books have been, that all these people are trying to defeat Doom, and they can't. It's not going to happen because it's Doctor Doom. Extinction Agenda number 5, I believe this one, or number 4. This is also a concluding issue. This one, there was a plot. You have Genosha, there's disease, and you have mutants that are in charge of another city. They're like in Genosha, but they kind of left Genosha to die, and so then there's been some feuding back and forth. And in the middle of it all is Cameron Hodge, and he's been resurrected as like the super cool robot guy with like warlock powers, and he's just crazy cool. And so now the X-Men have to unite, all the X-Men from Genosha and from the XMen City. I think that's what the name of it is. I can't remember. Yeah, of X City. They have to unite and team up. So they've been fighting each other. Now they're going to come together. They're going to fight against Cameron Hodge. And guess what? It's an X-Men book. They win. The good guys win. They beat him, or so we think. So we don't know what's actually going to happen. But at the end of it all, they team up and they do things. This is a pretty okay book. I really like the art stylings of Domenico. And Guggenheim's a good writer. Mark Guggenheim, he's written a lot of stuff. Television, DC, Marvel, X-Men books. So this turned out to be a pretty good. I like this a lot more than the Age of Apocalypse. This is a pretty straightforward narrative. There's lots of cool stuff going on. So yeah, who knows? I doubt there's any real extension of this story, but it does have a big question mark at the end of it. Things might be turning out okay for the X-Men in that one, but not in the Years of Future Past. Years of Future Past is a very dark place. As we all know, we have Chrissy Pride and we have Cameron. We recently found out that Cameron is the son of Colossus and Kitty Pryde as well. So they're both brother and sister. And at the end of the last issue, he kind of flips out and is like, all of a sudden he does a 180 and he's like, hey, mutants are the end. They're the end of everything. And so there's a big feud that's about to happen between, so both Chrissy and Cameron are split. And so they start fighting, and there's a plot to, he's going to go kill the president, Kelly, that's going to ruin all the plans of everything. because they didn't want to kill him. They want to keep him alive for, trying to keep the mutant, to the mutant problem, like to help. They think that he's going to help it along, but by killing him, it'll make things worse. And people want to kill the mutants even more if they find out an assassin mutant kills this guy. So very similar to Days of Future Past. So he just flips out and he's like, "Hey, we're gonna kill this guy no matter what, and it's gonna ruin mutants. We deserve to die. Mutants are horrible." He kind of compares them to tigers being roaming free. It's kind of a weird stuff, but once again, as I've said before, Marjorie Bennett, she's a writer. She likes to try to write something very interesting, and she does a good job with this one. In conclusion, the X-Men are somewhat successful at the cost of some very dark stuff. They're able to save President Kelly, and bad things happen to people in the family. And the conclusion is that we think they're going to be okay, but it has a very ominous ending, and you can kind of read into that. And like I said, it's definitely worth reading. It's worth checking out. Years of Future Past was a pretty solid book. It's a good X-Men story. It introduces some new characters. Chrissy Pride could potentially be a character in the all-new, all-different X-Men. This is not a character that's been introduced before, so who knows where this is going to go. But really cool book. Definitely recommend Years of Future Past, all 5 issues. Runaways number 4. I love Runaways. I've talked about that a lot every time I talk about Runaways. In this one, the Runaways were a team. They were in school. They were in a Doom school for becoming a super cool Doom villain team or hero team. And they find out in the trials and stuff that people have been dying instead of being expelled or losing. And so they decide to leave. And so they're being hunted down by the headmaster, who is Bucky. And of course we have, Valeria, who's kind of in charge of the university. They finally track him down. There's a huge conflict. One of the people, who's Ice Girl, had betrayed him, but they finally they come together and they realize they should just love each other. Jubilee and Ice Girl. Apparently Jubilee's a lesbian in this. I don't know what that's about, because that's not her character in any universe that we know. So this version of her, she's a lesbian, and you find out that they, her and Ice Girl love each other. So they finally reunite the team, and they're able to escape. And of course Bucky Barnes, I believe he gets killed at the end, because that's what happens to Bucky all the time. He dies, and Valeria is kind of distraught. The program's in shambles, but the kids have run away. So you have this cool super team with Molly and Scar and Amadeus Cho, and we have the flip reverse of Cloak and Dagger and Jubilee and Ice Girl, and it's a cool little team. Will we ever see them again? I don't know. There's a letter in the back that talks about, we brought this cool team together, and we might never see them again. There's no plans with the Runaways. I don't know how well it's sold, but I can tell you that I like the Runaways. I would like to see more Runaways. This particular team is very interesting. I don't know if I want to see this particular team, the one from this alternate universe, but Runaways is very cool. Obviously, I love Molly. She Hulk smash, Princess Powerful, good stuff. This is 1872. This is not a concluding issue. This is leading up to the conclusion. Lots of hijinks going on in Timely. It's an Old West story. Once again, Steve Rogers got killed in the last issue, and so this is kind of dealing with the aftermath. The main character to kind of take revenge for everybody, I believe his name is Red Wolf. I'm hoping I don't get that name wrong. It's Red Wolf, and he's gonna get revenge. He's trying to get revenge. Roxxon's coming in, and they're messing with the town. There is a dam that they're trying to destroy. So Banner and Natasha, who's obviously Black Widow, are gonna go sabotage this dam, and they get foiled by Simon Williams, who's from Roxxon, who's Wonder Man, of course. And so while that's going on, there's a big throwdown in the middle of Timely where there's huge shootouts and people getting killed. Bullseye gets killed by Red Wolf. So people get shot, people die. And then towards the end, we learned about Stark last issue and his drinking problems, and he can design cool stuff, and he's really sad about Steve Rogers. So finally, seems like he's got together, and he's made a real cool Iron Man suit, which is clearly on the cover of the book. So that does not disappoint. That spoiler, he shows up in a very glorious way, but things happen. So in the next issue, there's going to be probably the concluding issue. where there's hijinks in the middle of Timely Town, and there's even like lady suffragettes trying to get the vote, which is led by Captain Marvel. So we see all these really cool, we see these cool characters from Marvel in an old Western setting. So I found this book to be very entertaining. I am still looking forward to the ending of that one. Captain Marvel and the Carol Corps. This is the end of this one. This is a concluding issue. Kelly Sue DeConnick's had a pretty good run on Captain Marvel. And in this one, as I said before, I've talked about a little bit. The idea is that they know there's a lie. There's something going on. The world isn't what it seems. And so Carol, who has the ability to fly, and she's from space, or I mean, they don't say she's from space. She's just in this domain. So she starts trying to look out ahead. And she's got a Carol Corps group, and they're going to do something about it. As they're they leave their camp and they're trying to break through the precipice, the Thor Corps shows up. They have a big throwdown with people from the Thor Corps. And there's airplanes flying around shooting everything, and you have Carol fighting a Thor, and they have a duel with the hammer. And it's just really cool superhero-y stuff. And at the end, they're able to win. They get a separation. The Thors let them go. Everybody lets them go and say, hey, they're going to go to the precipice. They're going to go beyond to the void. And then it ends. It all ends. So we don't actually find out what's beyond the void. I think it's probably what's going to happen in the future. There's probably going to be a cool Captain Marvel book coming out. I don't know if this is what, hopefully the book is Captain Marvel and the Carol Corps and a bunch of cool people. But that's it. So it kind of ends. There's a letter in the back, Kelly Sue DeConnick, talking about her run, thanking everybody for getting the book. I did not get the Captain Marvel book, unfortunately. But I had read this one. It was pretty good. I don't know if that's what the Captain Marvel book was all about. But cool little run. Nice little way to send off Kelly Sue DeConnick from this particular book. Wish her in her best next endeavors. Last but not least is Weird World number 4. Weird World is such a cool book. The art is incredible. That's the best part of it is Del Mundo's art. I mean, I could just flip it to any page, and it's just a work of art. I want to just show off. Archon has a vision of his town, his city. Look how just beautiful this art is. I mean, the art of Weird World is incredible, and I'm so happy that he's going to keep doing more of this book. In this one, this is written by Jason Aaron, and you have Archon's looking for his lost city, Polemarchus, so he's needing maps to go find it, and Weird World is such a weird place. Last year, he has a throwdown with a guy named Skull the Slayer, and they have a fight, and they're having a fight, and they end up in this weird man-thing world. And there's a queen. We find out there's a queen of the man-things, and that's pretty cool. And her whole objective is to overthrow Morgan Le Fay, who's the Baron of Weird World. And so, he's having visions of his world ending, and so, she's like, hey, we can overthrow this, and then something happens to him, something weird happened, and he wakes up, and he kind of runs away, and he finally thinks he finds Polemarchus, his hometown. It's been ruined, and, it's destroyed, and I'll just show the last page because it looks really cool. It's beautiful art, but he thinks he has lost his city, but he's up here, and Polemarchus is down there, and he doesn't know. So Weird World continues in the next issue, where Archon is going to hopefully find that, there's a place down there. He's actually thinking about committing suicide. He has a lightning bolt. He has this weird lightning bolt he kills people with. Weird World's just got cool stuff, cool characters you probably don't know anything about. You have the Crystal Warriors and Archon, and this is a book that I didn't really care. I didn't think I would care about this as much, but now at the end, I'm like, man, this is a cool book. I'm really jacked. I will probably get this. I'm excited about this with all different Marvel. So that was 7 books. I talked about them at great length. All 7 books, I liked all these books. It's not, some weeks I'm just like, there's books I don't really care for much, but these all turned out pretty good. So if you've been keeping up with them, these are books that you're not going to miss or don't want to miss. So that's it, that's it with me, Jason, from Grand Slam. And that is my Secret War Journal number 19. Keep tuning in. I'll keep making the videos. Thanks for checking them out.